Lawyers representing a firefighter who survived 9/11 plan to file a lawsuit today in an effort to block a proposed Islamic center near Ground Zero. This comes a day after a New York City commission cleared the way for the project. The panel refused to give landmark status to the building just 2 blocks away from where the Twin Towers were destroyed. The decision is a setback for opponents.
Do it without hurting people. This hurts everybody.
Well, you heard those comments there, and it makes it clear that approval by the Landmark Preservation Board is not likely to end the controversy about whether the site of the mosque is offensive to people who lost their loved ones on 9/11 or whether the Islamic community have the right to build a place of religious worship where they want. However, it does mean the Islamic community has cleared an important hurdle to build a mosque at Ground Zero. And joining me now is Zead Ramadan of the New York Council on Islamic Relations. Zead, welcome back.
Thank you.
Obviously, a lot of people at the meeting, sheer anger, a lot of the family members of 9/11 saying, you know what, we don't want this. I mean, your reaction to just the emotion.
Right.
And the outcry against it.
People have to realize that Muslims also lost their lives in the heinous attacks on our nation at 9/11 as first responders as well. This isn't a this is an attack on all Americans, and Muslims are part of the fiber of this nation. So the argument against trying to impede their fellow Americans from having their civil liberties and their constitutional rights to freedom of religion is something that should be considered.
But what is the real issue here? Is it real estate, that it's 2 blocks away, that it's just too close?
You know, when you say it's 2 blocks away, you're insinuating that American Muslims should be part of the collective guilt for 9/11. And I refuse to accept, as an American Muslim, that I have any association with the attackers on our nation. My wife was a first responder, my brother was a first responder, and I lost friends in 9/11. And I'm a proud American Muslim who defends my nation.
But let's talk about the Muslim community in America. What are they doing to bridge the gap? There's lots of misnomers out there. You know, past imams in other mosques in other parts of the country, i.e. Washington, D.C.,
right,
where 3 young Pakistani teens went to the mosque and then listened to the imam and was recruited by al-Qaeda. A lot of people are saying, well, yeah, they're going to come in, they're going to say it's a mosque, but is it going to be a recruitment center for terrorists? That's what a lot of people fear. So your answer to that?
Well, New York City Muslims are moderate Muslims, and in this particular area there'd be a lot of moderate and educated Muslims. They wouldn't have any kind of negative rhetoric being espoused or in their sermons, and they wouldn't accept it. And you can replace imams. They're not kings of a mosque, for instance.
But a lot of people are saying they're not against anti-Muslim, they're anti-terror, and they're afraid that that's what it's going to turn into. So what is what I'm trying to say is, what is the Muslim American community doing to maybe bridge that gap? Shouldn't there be some sort of anti-terrorist organization funded by Muslim Americans that proves to Americans that hey, we are also against it?
Yeah, we're all anti-terrorists.
Right.
we all want to have a safe and happy living and offer our children an opportunity to prosper in our nation. Now, what the Muslim community is doing is they are educating their youth as to, fanatical rhetoric and to keep away from it. So, internally in the Muslim community, we're doing the same things. And we're engaging in conversations with law enforcement. We bring them into our centers, and we educate our youth about, beware of these people who'll try to lead you astray.
I guess vigilance is, what a lot of people are asking for.
Sure.
I think that's what's being lost in this discussion, that people aren't hearing that. Let's talk about it. It's taking a global spotlight. Sarah Palin, Newt Gingrich coming out of it. It's become a hot ticket in the governor's race. Rick Lazio is opposed to it. Attorney General Andrew Cuomo is in favor of it. The Anti-Defamation League, Jewish organizations are opposed to the mosque. Did you ever think it would take a life of its own the way it has?
First I think Rick Lazio should run for governor of Arizona. I think he'd be do better there. But no, we didn't think that it would take this kind of life, but we did understand that emotions are always going to be raw about 9/11, and they should be, because we were attacked. We were all attacked. And we just, the bottom line is American Muslims do not accept collective guilt, and they don't want to be associated with the attackers of our nation. We are proud they do not represent our religion. They do not represent us. We were part of the victims. We're victims of 9/11 like all of our fellow Americans.
And Zead, we'll end on that. Thank you. We need to have conversations like this more often.
Thank you very much.
Zead, you are also going to be talking to us after the show. We'll put more of this information on our line. And there's also going to be a timeline for starting the demolition and construction, which is expected to take about 18 to 48 months. We will continue to follow this story, the Ground Zero Mosque and the controversy surrounding it. John.